Guys, James here today and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today we've got a few things that I want to take care of, a few things around the zoo that we need to fix up and build upon. For example, in the wolves enclosure, you guys are pointing out that they were fighting for the alpha status, which is going to keep happening because I believe we have two adult males. Well, that's a female there. That's a male over here. So we got the alpha male over here as indicated by that, and then we have the alpha female over here, which I believe these two are brother and sister, Embra and Emb. Not confusing at all. Not to be mistaken with, of course, go on. Come on, mate. The former, well, I guess their father and former alpha male. And we had another one, but I don't, where's the mom? Is she in... She's in the vet surgery due to, presumably, a fight. So what we're going to do, we're going to separate these guys out. We may just go ahead and either release the new ones to the wild, or maybe we could release the old ones to the wild. I don't know, maybe the new ones. That's probably a better idea, because we'll keep mom and dad around a little bit longer. Maybe we'll be a geriatric zoo. And I also kind of want to redesign this exhibit a little bit. So actually, well, what I want to do, first of all, let me say... I want to send animal to storage and trade center. That's the wrong button. So we're going to unpause that. Then we'll wait for the other one to come back. Now, I'm wondering how big does this enclosure have to be? Land area is actually not big enough right now, but that might be because there's 3 of them in here. Oh, the flamingo's about to mate. Hello. Yeah, get it on. Oh, look at them. They're mating. Oh, we should actually get more flamingos though. Because I assume they want a bigger social group. Yeah, they definitely do. And also enrichment. Are we researching that? That's the other thing. There's a lot of like little things that we kind of need to get on top of. We're researching the flamingos at the moment and the red pandas, which is good. Because everything else I think is good. So we're working on it. Do we have the ability to get another flamingo at all? Because that'd be great. Any species we want. Whoops. What is it? Greater flamingo? Is that what we've got? Greater flamingo. Yeah, no, there's none. Okay. So we don't have any of those. You are going to be released to wild. We only get 7 conservation credits for that. Wait, hang on. Oh, it's actually elderly now, so it's it seems kind of mean to release it to the wild if it's an elderly. Yeah, I would just do it for trade. Yeah, I get a sweet $100 for that. Sweet. Let's just hope that it's gone to another zoo. Okay, and then, hang on. Which is the other female? This one? Okay, so you also gonna go to the trade center. 11.6. So these are brother and sister. Obviously, they're not gonna be mating. Those little poos are like standing up. That's funny. Also, we should get a mechanic to come and fix this, by the way. We might need to get another mechanic in this zoo, and also up the frequency of repairs and all that. Anyway, back to just taking care of stuff. Little jobs here and there. Zoo has no security guard. That's the other thing, actually, that we should take care of too. But, you know, one thing at a time here. I'll get 7 conservation credits for that one. Great. There you go. Okay, so that should have solved, you know, them being unhappy with all of that. Now, as for the Komodos, we also have a similar problem where I'm going to assume it was because of the babies that they had, that we don't have enough space for them. So I think what we'll do, I kind of want to fix that, but I think we'll expand this a little bit and probably add viewing from the other side too, because it just makes sense. So let's go ahead and work on that. All right, that is looking much better. I basically just increased the size a little bit. I did edit their hard shelter that we had over in this corner. Now it's like rocks instead of that weird wood that sort of overlapped everything. So that's over there. It's still a little bit private. I've left a bit of the fence there. Rest of the fence is now chain link, except for this side, which is glass, which kind of doesn't match anything. So I'm wondering if I should probably just change that. Because it seems weird that everything else is chain link and like that sort of what am I saying? Corrugated fence there. So I might just change it to the chain link like that. Oh, also the other thing we need to do was stop people from feeding the flamingos, because they do that, which is not good. So we definitely want to stop them doing that. I'm not sure where. There's a sign that we need, apparently. Is it this? Do not feed, because apparently people are idiots and they will feed the animals like idiots. Can you please not align to surface? Thanks. Okay. So we're going to get one here. I don't know how often we have to have these, but I think we will have enough on all sides where they can feed them. So they hopefully do not do that, because that's kind of dumb. What's the other one? Do not disturb. Security signs. Oh yeah, we should probably get security too. Anyway, there we go. Do not feed the flamingos because because the fence is quite low, like it's a meter high fence. Obviously people can just stand here and look at them, which is great, but they can also feed them because the fence is so low. So hopefully that should stop some of them. And having said that, that's where security will also come in hand. So we should probably come in handy. So we should probably look at that as well. Oh, we just need to hire a security guard. Why did I think there was a security building? I don't know. All right, let's go to not the animal market. Actually, you know what? While we're at the animal market, Greater Flamingo, hello? Hello? No, okay. No, there's none there. That's so sad. Okay, so we want to get zoo overview. No, I'm going to staff. I would like to get security guard. Oh, that guy means business. He's like, I ain't messing around. Neither is that guy. Let's get 2 of them. Although, how many other staff members do we have? I don't think we have many, so we should probably look at some more. Can I get a second caretaker? So basically another janitor, that's probably a good idea. And then maybe we'll get another vet. Probably also a good idea. And maybe another mechanic. So we can start doing more research is kind of what I'm thinking. Because wait, where's our mechanic? We have 2 already, which is good, but probably another one would be good. So we've just increased our staff quite a bit. So let's have a look at all of these because we're going to go over to maintenance. And we're going to say the keeper... It's every month. Vet is probably every 6 months is fine. Mechanic, let's go every 6 months. We'll double it. Because, I mean, I don't think we need to go too crazy on the mechanic, but I think maybe they need to come a little bit more often than every year because that doesn't seem to be enough. We keep seeming having to call them constantly. So let's do every 6 months on every exhibit, and we should be looking pretty good. Mechanic every 6 months. And the one over here. Okay, so now... that we have gone through and done all this little bit of like odd jobs that we needed to follow up on. Let's go into our zoo. Let's go into mechanic research. We have one person doing some more barriers, which is good because we want those. And then maybe we should do, what do we get in habitats? Habitat blueprints. Oh, we can get blueprints of habitats? That's kind of cool. What else can we get? Themes, new world theme, staff facilities. Oh, we get better facilities. That might be a good one. Shelters and climbing. Drink shops, East Asia theme, souvenir, power, classic. I don't know what the best one is. I guess let's just chuck someone somewhere, start doing some research. Let's also go to the vet and maybe get the 3rd one doing something too. Maybe we'll get some more. Can we do, I don't think you can do 2 people in there. Get some more stuff for the Komodo dragons maybe. Oh, actually, you know what? No, let's maybe research some of these diseases because we're going to start getting some of these probably. Let's start on some of those and at least get a little idea of what's going on. Okay, so now that we've done the odd jobs, I want to build something new. And to do that, we're going to need a new animal. Oh, giant panda, but we need 1,000 conservation credits for that. We can't do that yet. Okay, so I think we're going to do some zebras because that seems like a good animal to go with. The group sizes seem nice. We can get a decent amount of them. Then what I was also thinking, because they're zebras, we can probably do a combined exhibit. What am I doing? I'm all over the place. We can do a combined exhibit and start getting some other animals mixed in with them as well. Like obviously they go well with giraffe. That'll be fine. Even rhinos they can go with, which is pretty good. Anyway, so we can start combining a few animals in that enclosure. But I think we're just going to start off with zebra because otherwise we're going to have a problem. So 3 to 6, I'm going to try and only get 1 male just because we'll probably get some dominance fighting otherwise. So I might try and avoid that. I'm not really looking at any stats here. I was just gathering them. So hopefully they're okay. He seems pretty good. He's not super fertile, but it's not too bad. So there's another male there, but I might leave that one. Another one here as well. Let's go with the 3 to start off with. And what I'm thinking is we're going to do a cool themed area. Where's the border of our zoo? It's over there. Okay. Cool themed area. Now, oh, actually, that's what we can research. Transport rides. Because if we research to get like the adventure tour, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's get a mechanic over there. I think we can just put a mechanic on that now. Let's get some transport rides because if we can get, I mean, the steamboat's cool and all, but it's not that cool. Suspended gondola, that's pretty nice. But I want the 4x4 adventure tour. Because then we can get like a safari car that will go through this whole area. Now, I guess we should plan the exhibit. So this is what they're compatible with. Well, this is actually black wildebeest, which I was looking at. This is, and zebra in here too. So I think maybe this collection of animals would be really good for just a giant sort of open area. So I'm thinking maybe we do that. They need a grade 2 fence, 1.5 meters, well, 1.25 meters. And I guess... You know, we'll probably just go for the best fence because I feel like we probably want that. So let's go ahead and build. Excuse me? No. No. Bad. No. Excuse me. No, that is not happening. No. That is not happening. You are not gonna be doing that. I'm sorry. That is going to the trade center. Get out of there. Right, we're gonna have to get you a new friend because that is an issue that we do not want to face. Yes, I know your social group sucks right now. I'll get you a new animal. Sorry, I've just been busy working on the new habitat, okay? So you have to go to the wild. I'm sorry. Wow, great. Yes, release that. Okay, let's... we want to avoid that problem. Okay, let's have a look. So what am I doing? I'm in the wrong area as per usual. Animal market, let's go ahead and go for a timber wolf. One that is not from the same family. Timberwolf, and then we're gonna go for a female, and we've got one here. That'll do. Welcome to the zoo. You are now gonna go there, and that's problem solved. Great. Now, back to the new habitat, which is gonna be epic, mind you. Look at this thing. Alright, so I'm actually going to jump in on this time lapse just because it is a much longer one. This is like, I think a 25-minute sort of section of the video. So I figured, I mean, you can listen to music if you want. You can just mute the video and listen to it that way. Or you can hang out with me, your helpful tour guide in this here time lapse of Planet Zoo. That's right. Welcome to the time lapse. Yeah, so I knew this was gonna take a while, so that's why I was like, we're gonna do a time lapse anyway. If I built this real time, it was gonna take ages. It took me like at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. There's actually some stuff I didn't record as well that I sort of just left out because there was some more tedious stuff. But the original idea I had for this is I wanted it to almost be like a Jurassic Park entrance. So you have these big cliffs and a big like wooden wall, and you go through it, and then because you can do the guest gate, which allows guests into exhibits and be able to walk around in them. And I was going to utilize that to sort of not actually have them walk around in there, because we're going to be adding like African animals like plain zebra and like giraffe and rhinos and all that. So obviously we don't want them walking there, but I was going to use that as an entrance and then have a stairs or something. Didn't work out that way, but we still did a similar idea. You'll see it adapt as we work through this here. Yeah, and I really wanted to try and use the terrain as a means to sort of keep the animals in, use the terrain as a fence and as a barrier. Because what you can do is, obviously we build this, and then if we use the invisible barrier, the null barrier, it doesn't, the one which I eventually use here, it doesn't stop animals going through this invisible barrier, but it's basically just a way to complete the habitat so that the game thinks it's complete and you can actually, you know, do stuff in it. So I just hide it inside all the hills here. So all of that is then going to be the habitat inside of it. And that is basically how we're going to do it. So this whole area, there's almost like this bowl area is kind of like, this is where all the magic happens. Also, the door looks kind of dumb because it cuts out the fence like that. So I changed my plan entirely. And oh yeah, so this is like the Africa habitat of the zoo. Very much inspired by Australia Zoo, where they have the area called Africa, which is just this one big open area that has, you know, all the animals in there together. So that's kind of where the idea for this came. So this is how I worked around the entrance idea, because I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted. So instead of having that flat path down the bottom, we're actually having it sort of curve up around and go over. So it's going to go over the fence, and then you get this like awesome view from above the habitat looking down, and you get to see sort of everything and get this big overview. And at some point, we will probably, because like I said, like when we're researching those transport rides, if we can get that safari car, that'd be amazing to have drive through the whole habitat. So at some point, we'll probably end up doing that. But for now, obviously you get the overhead look on this pathway. And I was trying to, so we have the Komodo dragons down the bottom here. So I was trying to get the pathway to still go around. So I decided we'll do a smaller pathway that just sort of hooks around, so you can at least link around to the other side of the zoo instead of having to walk all the way back to the entrance, or without having to go up and over this giant bridge, because that'd just be really annoying. So we kept in this lower path, which I was gonna actually use as a way to get a staff access to this habitat, but I decided to build an entirely separate staff area, which is also in this time lapse, for this habitat that's completely out of view from anyone. So we do a completely separate area for that. Yeah, so I've just adjusted the Komodo dragon habitat here to sort of fit better with the pathway and all that. And then underneath, instead of doing staff stuff, which was, like I said, my idea, I decided to just do a couple of guest facilities, just a couple of bathrooms really. That's all it is. We should probably look into doing more shops more frequently as well. And also, actually, the other thing we really need to do still is the exhibit animals, because we've got a lot of habitat animals, which are the ones where we build the whole habitat for them with the barriers and all that. But then the exhibit ones are those smaller ones that, you know, just like frogs and snakes and all that kind of stuff. We should definitely do some of those and build like, maybe build like a nocturnal house or something where it's like, that'd be pretty cool, like this indoor exhibit somewhere. Now, here's where I was struggling, because I was like, I want to make this bathroom block, which is a bathroom block. It doesn't look great, but I want to make it like blend in with the pathway that's here. So I was trying to figure out how to do it. I wanted to use that like that wooden slat wall, but it doesn't look good because it's got all the big gaps in it. And also it's really bright. I really wish it was painted. But I think we can research more themes like you guys are saying to get some more stuff. But instead, this is what I did. Okay, so I started off with this metal sheet wall. It looks really dumb. It looks really lame. Then I found these cool banners and these logs. And I was like, you know what? Let's start combining logs. Let's combine barriers. So I started putting these big logs down, and then I got these these banners. So sorry, I got these banners down. I thought it would look really cool because of the patterns, you know, zebra pattern. Chuck it above the bathroom, just give it a little bit of pizzazz. And then I decided to use these logs to create my own wall because the game wasn't giving me one that I could use easily. So I decided to just use these logs, and basically I'm just placing them all along the outline of the path. Then we're only doing one side of this because it took me a while. And then we gonna select them all, move them down so it lines up with the pathway, and it looks beautiful because then it looks like the pathway is actually sitting on something and not just floating in front of this empty grass area that doesn't look very nice. So you can see, I guess I didn't really need to use the 8-meter high logs on the end, but yeah. So this is what I do: selecting them all here, then I start moving them all down, and then deselect one by one, move them down a little bit more. For every single log along the pathway, and then it just creates this beautiful wall that looks great. I think it looks so good. It looks so much better than just leaving it empty and open, and it definitely looks better than those wooden walls that we have at the moment as well. So I think these logs worked out really, really well, and I started using these logs a lot more in this video too. You'll see when we get to the staff buildings, I start using them a little bit more. Probably a little bit too much, because it's starting to get a little bit log cabiny at some points, but whatever. Yeah, so I did that, and I just adjusted them so they actually, you know, were underneath the pathway, because you can see they're clipping a bit there. And then I did the other side, but I didn't record the other side because it just took too long. So I was like, whatever. So there you can see the whole other side now is done. And then I was like, you know what? We need a sign, because we haven't done like any signs or anything cool for this zoo. Nothing that really sort of, you know, gets a guest's attention or gets them to look and go like, wow, let's go over there. So this is where I was like, okay, let's just call the area Africa after the Australia Zoo one. And then I just did it out of these letters that are in the game. And then we're just building a little sign. I was going to do it arched, but arched looked really dumb, so I decided not to do that. Instead, I just moved it down. And that banner, the zebra print banner, was, number one, I felt it seemed like a little bit too busy behind the letters. So I was like, no. And also, it wasn't big enough, so it's kind of annoying. And then I found all these animal, I guess, signs, which were really cool. And I was like, okay. Here we go. This is it. We're going to use these. We're going to start making a cool sign. I mean, it ends up looking just like bright colors. It's just supposed to be attractive, you know, fun and poppy. And I feel most zoos typically don't have, I don't know if you notice this, but most zoos don't typically have the best graphic design work. So I kind of feel like this leans into that a little bit. So I'm just using plaster walls as a backing, and then I was going to change the color of them. And then we can sort of use that as a backing for the sign, just sort of adjust it a little bit. I also really regretted not putting the bathrooms in the center because it really annoys me now, but it's actually such a nightmare to kind of move them and change them. But I think I will do that. I just didn't do it in this time lapse. But yeah, if that's annoying you too, and if it wasn't, and it now is because I pointed it out, I'm gonna fix it because it's really annoying me. So because I just have to move those over and then remove all the logs, and it's like a whole thing. Because all the logs in those bathrooms are part of the same building. I then have to separate them into different buildings so I can actually move it. So it's kind of, that's why I didn't do it already, but I will. Anyway, so I use like sort of a, what is it, like a acacia tree or something in the background of the sign. Got a rhino, got a zebra. We don't have any rhinos yet, we only have zebras, but you know, the sign is future-proofing, and I feel like we're trying to sell our zoo for the future, and that's what we got there. Yeah, so just basically now is a process of dressing up the entire habitat. Well, actually, we dress up the front of it here, get a nice entrance, which I think it looks really cool because you can see it all the way down the pathway. And you can see every time I sort of tilt the camera back, have a look at it, you can see the view of it. I think it looks really cool, and I hope you guys like it too, because I'm actually really happy about it. It's really cool. I never did, actually, so I did say we were going to do the Timberwolf habitat, because I wanted to adjust it, so, because I don't, and I regret doing this, because it was just bad design, I didn't really think about it. But we have that mountain in the middle of the Timberwolf habitat, and that's a problem because they can just go behind it and then no guest would ever see them. Obviously, we want animals to have privacy, but that's what the cave is for. They can go in there and sort of hide a little bit. And I think it's kind of dumb to have the hill go down and over. We really should have had the hill go up and then a barrier on the top. And that's what I think I'll go back and do, but I haven't done that yet either. That's on the to-do list. And this is where I'm trying to figure out where I was figuring out where to put the staff entrance. So we just did like a little break in the wall here, did like a little cliff here, and this is where the entrance is going to be. Obviously, it wasn't big enough, so I had to widen it up a little bit here. But it's going here, and all this stuff is actually just going behind the Timberwolf habitat. So it's all really accessible because I was considering doing it over the other side, but I'm like, why would I put this so far away from everything else? Like, it's still out of sight of the guests, but it is also like in a spot that is convenient for the staff. Like, it's not too far away. Obviously, we do a work zone for this and all that stuff, but if for whatever reason a staff member needed to go somewhere else, it's not super far away. So that's great. Also, I kind of wish that they would do staff roads in this game and give staff like jeeps and vehicles to get around, because that's a super common thing in actual zoos. And like a big problem in this game is how slow staff walk. It's like, yeah, because zoos are huge, and in real life, you know, they have vehicles to get around. I hope they add that at some point. They're doing some really big updates already. Like they have done, you know, a huge bug fix the other day. It was like a 5 GB update to the game of just bug fixes, which is great, which is really, really good. I love to see that. But yeah, I'm really interested. I'm really excited to see where this game goes as well, like with future DLCs, but also just free updates. Because something that Frontier always does is they always do, like when they do a DLC, there's also like a free content update with it that adds some new features as well. So I would love to see like vehicles and stuff, whether it's a DLC or not, just a way to, I guess, speed up the zoo and speed up the staff, because staff seem real slow. Obviously, you can train them, they become more efficient, but it's still that travel time. Anyway, if you like, let me know, like, I want to know what you guys want to see in this game, because maybe there's something I haven't thought of, just like of cool features we could get. Oh, definitely marine animals would be cool, and just anything like that would be pretty good, I think. Or like aviaries as well, I think is probably an obvious one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to know what you guys would like to see in this game, because I think there's like huge potential for this. There's like so much stuff that could be added that just isn't there yet. I know that this won't happen because, I mean, the game's already out and it's the same system as Planet Coaster, but my lord, the path system, building paths in this game and in Planet Coaster is so frustrating. I don't know why it's so hard. It's so clunky. It's so frustrating. I wish they just built pathways like you build, if you guys have ever played City Skylines or like Sim City, just building a road, like That's how it should be building a pathway. It's so easy and intuitive, but the pathways in this game are so clunky. And also, there's a bunch of hotkeys because obviously I played Planet Coaster as well on my other channel. If you guys didn't know, like a few years ago when it came out, there's a few hotkeys that if you don't know, it also makes it a lot harder. So, for example, if you are trying to join a pathway and it's not looking that smooth, if you hold down Z, it'll do an adjusted way of blending the pathway, so it's a smoother blend. I don't know I can't remember what it's called, but there's a button for that. If you hold down, I think Control or something, it stops it snapping because sometimes it will snap to a random pathway and you're like, why are you doing that? And then there's all the little options. There's all these like little things, and a lot of them I don't really think about just because I'm just on autopilot doing it. But maybe I'll try and think about, like, that could be a good thing to do if you guys want to see like a tips video on just like hotkeys in this game, or just how to do stuff, because I think there's a lot of like hidden things in this game that I've picked up from Planet Coaster in terms of just building. I think in general, building is like, it's super powerful in this game. Like, you can build whatever the heck you want. Like, that's what we're doing right now. We're just placing stuff everywhere, and that's great. But sometimes it's hard to do if you're like, why is this going there and doing this, and it gets complex sometimes. Anyway, so this is the little staff area. It's nothing too crazy. I also don't think I recorded all of it because I was like, okay, this is kind of getting boring. I'm just doing buildings, and like that keeper hut, for example, just has like a couple banners on the side because I was like, it's really boring. We don't have many walls yet. Ideally, I really wanted like a wooden, like, I don't know, I wanted something that suited, like a thatched roof would be cool, but we need to unlock that because I'm pretty sure that is in the game, but we just don't have it yet. We need to unlock this stuff because these buildings don't really match the theme that I wanted. So I was like, whatever. We'll use a bunch of logs. It looks kind of, I think it looks kind of cool. Like, I'm not upset about it. And we have the power generator just there next to all this, or the transformer, not the generator. And then we also do need to do a water filtration system for this habitat because the other ones don't reach it. The big problem with it though is the water's like right in the middle of the habitat. So I think almost anywhere we put it around the side, it's not gonna reach it. Or maybe one of the sides it did, but it was kind of like really far away. So, you know. Also, I'm doing so with this building here. I just found these like plaster panels. I think we found them before in one of the other episodes. I was just like, because the wall is so blank. The quarantine building is just that. It's a quarantine building. So there's no windows or anything. And I'm like, man, this is boring. So I just put some colored panels on the front. I don't know, like a couple. I actually changed them to red in the end because I was like, the color of quarantine is red in this game. So I was like, might as well do that. Just do a slightly different roof design here to the other ones. Again, just trying to mix it up, make it a little bit more interesting. Obviously, it's not something that guests are gonna see, but you know, we're gonna occasionally pop over here and have a look. So I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more interesting than just a block. So I'm actually using these posts and like having them lean out and support the roof. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. It also looks kind of old and kind of run down a bit, which I also kind of like the look of that. So that's kind of fun. Also, fun thing to note is how much money we are spending on all of this. Like we had like what 65,000 or something. We're down to like 40,000 now. You know, the money is getting down there. We are spending quite a bit. Like at a time we're spending 10 here and there, but as we start placing all these items, it gets away from me. So I actually got to be kind of careful with that. Now I think I cut ahead here a little bit because I was getting bored of. Well, I wasn't getting bored of it, but I thought you might be getting bored of watching me just do all these buildings. So I think the other couple are now finished. That one looks the most like a log cabin. That's the staff room. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a log cabin on this thing. So I actually added a staff pathway here because I don't know if you saw, but this connects around to where the Komodo dragons is and like the entrance of the Africa area for the public. Just because otherwise the staff have to go all the way around the other way. It seemed like a way too long of a path. So having this access here was also kind of important. Just makes it a little bit more usable. And it also serves as the connection point for where we're gonna join up the water pump or the water filtration system, which I don't think we placed yet. It's kind of interesting though, because there's not really anywhere else to put it. You can see here, I'm trying to figure out, it's like I can kind of put it on the fence, but it doesn't quite reach. It reaches the top pond, but we have the lower pond here is all we need to get. So I actually put it underground. And if you turn on tunneling mode for the pathway, you can just like automatically build it underground there. It'll tunnel out, and I've just joined it to this pathway here. And And I don't know if we fly into it or not, but that's where it is. Also, so this was the idea for these two lakes. We've got two different heights here. I was like, I'm gonna do a waterfall between them, and oh my god. I don't know if you guys have tried to build a waterfall in this game. It is hard. It's got these little effects machines, and I couldn't work out where to place them. Also, I had to have the game unpause, so I couldn't, like, I had to unpause my game. I didn't want to unpause it because obviously I'm not paying attention to the rest of the zoo while I'm doing this. And look, my red panda's about to mature. No! So that's the whole thing too. Anyway, yeah, and then trying to just make it look like a waterfall. I don't know. It's tough. It gives you the general idea of a waterfall. It doesn't look that realistic to me, and it was hard. I did my best. Oh, and then, yeah. So then, because we're in a tropical map, if you look at the date now, we're in April. I don't know where we were. I think we were in year 7 at the end somewhere just before. We're year 8 now. Because we're in a tropical map as well, it just started pouring with rain for months and months and months. And I couldn't see what I was building. I was like, I need daylight. So I just sat there and fast forwarded it until it just stopped raining because I was like, I can't do this. And then, yeah, I put some rocks around this just to try and make it look a little bit better because it looked kind of dumb without that. And then we've got this whole habitat to build. We're gonna do all this stuff. I kind of wanted to do like a little pride rock build here. So that's what we're doing. I use terrain as well to sort of blend in with the rocks to make it feel like a bit more, I guess, part of the habitat, not just random rocks plonked down. This is kind of, so yeah, so I ended up using these sort of more orangey, I think they're savanna rocks is what they're actually called. But one thing I forgot about this game, and the same with Planet Coaster, is every biome that you play on, you can only get the terrain paints for that biome. So we can't get the savanna grass paint. We can only get the tropical grass paint, which makes total sense in reality, because obviously if you put grass into like this habitat in like an environment in the real world that wasn't the one that supported that type of grass, it just wouldn't work. But it's also kind of annoying because it means we have this bright green grass and then these really orangey rocks. So basically what ended up happening is I was using these orangey rocks. So I'm like, this suits the environment of Africa. This is what I want this place to look like. Then after I'd done it all, I realized I couldn't really change the grass to suit it. So then we just have this kind of mismatch of rocks and grass. But we sort of blended in with the rock paints and the sand paint and the soil paint. And it doesn't look too bad in the end. But yeah. I don't know. And then I did something else, which I'm not really sure about. So I had this grand idea. I was like, okay, so this was my backup plan. I was like, okay, we don't have the terrain paints. Maybe I'll just cover all the cliff around the entire habitat in the savanna rocks. So then it will look like, you know, the savanna, the savanna terrain paint. So I started doing it, and my plan was to do a section and then copy and paste it. And that's exactly what I do. So that wasn't the problem. Like, it's easy enough to copy and paste stuff. Then I quickly realized it looked kind of dumb because there's just so many rocks. It doesn't look like a cliff face would look like. So I was like, I started regretting it. But it's like I had already started doing it. So I was like, okay, we're going to work with this. We're not going to do the whole thing because if we did the whole thing, it would just look so dumb. So instead, I just did this side and I sort of blended it in with a few more rocks here and there. That's exactly where I gave up. I was like, this isn't working. And then we're just doing some trees that suit the sort of African grassland environment. And then I'm just doing a little bit of terrain paint. I don't know if I record all of that in here or not. But I think it's mostly just placing trees now and a little terrain paint. So there's not really much to miss. And I do the same thing with the trees here that I did with the rocks. I place a bunch of trees down, select the whole thing, duplicate it, and I just sort of line around the outside of the habitat here because it looked really just odd with this big bowl with nothing around it. I mean, I guess in hindsight, it also looks odd just having a line of trees around the whole thing, but obviously it will blend in as we build more and more. But yeah, that's about it for the time lapse. So let's just jump into the gameplay and you'll see the finished product. No, I actually lied. It kept going. I didn't add another clip in. This is the other clip I totally forgot about that I had recorded and not put in yet. So this is, like I was just saying, where we're doing the terrain paints and trying to make it blend in a bit more with the mistakes that I made of the orange rocks You know what? I think it actually turns out really nice in the end. We have to make a few small adjustments when we actually add the zebras in. Not really much, but you'll see it in just a couple of minutes when we jump back into the game. But yeah, so we're going through, trying to give it a more brown, more savanna kind of look. Obviously, we do actually have quite a lot of trees here. We didn't want it to be like barren and like fully savanna. I don't know, that doesn't even make any sense, but you know what I mean. I wanted it to still be quite lush and it, you know, look nice. Because it's kind of weird, like, you look at the environment, I really just want to go through and add like loads of bushes and stuff everywhere, but it's kind of annoying that it always, you know, adds to coverage of the animal. Like, I just want a nice bush because a lot of the land just kind of looks blank. Oh yeah, so this is where I'm trying to like fix the rocks as well and make them blend in a bit more. So you can see I'm sinking them more into the terrain so they're just like at least sort of tapers off the further back you go. That's kind of the idea. And then having them come in a bit. So this is kind of like a boulder wall is kind of what it's supposed to be. And then the rocks are just kind of like pouring down a little bit. And I think it was a good compromise to the mistake that I made. So I think it looks pretty good in the end. You know, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So that is something you can take to the bank. Not the best, not the worst. That's my kind of content. Yeah, so just basically just going through adding a few rocks around the place. And then we're going to be jumping over to the viewing area, which we haven't even worked on at all. And I guess we're not doing it yet. But that top section, we haven't even done anything for guests. Like this has all been, it's been animal first. That's what we do here at the Big Wallet Zoo. We are about the animals, we're for the animals, we're for the conservation of the animals, nothing for the guests. In fact, we shouldn't let the guests see anything. No, we need them to see stuff so they can pay me money. We're down to $4,000 by the way right now. That's an issue. That's a lot of money that has disappeared. I think it might have been, wasn't paying attention, but I'm gonna have to go back in the edit and see if it was when we were copying and pasting all the trees and all the rocks, because there's a lot of stuff that we just plonked down in one go, so that might have been it. Anyway, yeah, so this is like one of the areas where I'm like, well, so I added like the little waterfall asset here to the front of this like lake, because it's supposed to be more like a river flowing into the lower lake. And I added like a waterfall thing here so it looked like the mouth of a river or something. But I was like, it looks really dumb in the middle of nowhere, so I just added a bunch of plants around it to make it look a little bit better. But yeah, so we're adding a couple of viewing platforms. We've got the one up the top here, and then we have one that so I do like a smaller pathway offshoot that sort of slopes down a little bit, so it's a little bit lower, a little bit further in, but also a little bit smaller than the upper one. However, I don't think we've seen any guests use that one yet. We'll see in the live gameplay, I can't remember, but I don't think they really like it. Also, I don't know why I chose this pathway. This pathway that we're using, it's like this kind of fun mosaic. If you look at it, it's got all these like nice little patterns and stuff in it. But it kind of reminded me of the Australia Zoo one. I don't know if it looked anything like that, but in my mind, from pure memory, it kind of like, I was like, you know what, that kind of reminds me of that zoo. I don't know if it does at all, but whatever. Anyway, I figured because, you know, we're in a tropical environment, it's pretty damn hot. There's going to be guests up here. We might as well build like a shade, like a little pergola for guests to actually sit under if they want, so they don't have to stand in the blaring sun. So that's what we've built here. And you know what? I wonder if it might be a good idea. I wonder if we can get like little stores up here somewhere without it looking dumb. Like obviously we don't want to overcrowd this whole thing. Maybe we do stores a little further back or something. I don't know. But yeah, we're just doing like a little sort of shade area up the top here, using those beams to neaten it up. And that's kind of all it is. And then doing some benches under here. I was actually really annoyed that you cannot do the advanced placement on benches, like the one where it shows up the little gizmo. So I couldn't like line them up perfectly. There's like no snapping. There's nothing. I was trying to use these like walls to line them up. It was really tough. I'm like, I don't understand why we can't like snap. They don't snap to anything. So I was kind of struggling with that. So if you notice that benches aren't lined up perfectly, well, it's because I couldn't do it. And I was just like, good enough. Yeah, but I figured if you're going to be walking all the way up here, up this giant hill to get up to the top of this area, maybe a couple of benches would be nice. And we do a couple of bins as well, all that kind of good stuff. And then we do some benches and stuff down the lower section too, but no shade down the bottom one because we don't want to do too much. We also added a couple of the education boards in, and then I didn't do any speakers yet. We should probably do that, but I've left them blank for now because we haven't put the animals in, so we'll have to remember to go back and turn those on. And then a couple of benches down the bottom here as well. I was really hoping, again, I could just like snap them to it, but anyway, now this is the end of the time lapse. Let's jump into the game. All right, so we're finally back into the game in real time. It's still paused though, because I don't want to unpause it just yet, because I feel like everything's gonna die. So this is the new habitat, which obviously you just saw. It completely dwarfs the existing size of the zoo, which I'm actually pretty excited for. I'm really excited to see this going. But I'm sure that there's going to be little kinks that we need to iron out. For example, I can't imagine, an animal just getting out. That's totally not going to happen. I mean, I'm hoping that the barrier will be good, but it's already 67% barrier. What? It's barely... I barely unpaused the game. All right, we're going to need a mechanic more often. And you know what? I didn't actually build a workshop over here for a mechanic, but I think I might do that and add it into the work zone real quick. Because, yeah, it might be an issue. It might legitimately be an issue. Workshop is tiny. Okay, so I might actually duplicate this building, because I can't be bothered to build a new one. We've just spent ages building. So we're going to get this little building here. We also really need to just research better buildings in general. Also, yeah, so we can get the bigger keeper hut and all that. All right, so we're going to edit this. Well, select the group, edit the group, delete the keeper hut, delete the leaf, because it's not a leaf room. That's not what it's for. This is the workshop now. There we go. Cool, that's going to go in there. Easy does it. Then I'm just going to make sure I did make a work zone for it, so I'm just going to make sure that I add it into that. So we're going to edit the work zone, and then we're going to add this guy. Whoops, keep that in it. Okay, now is there anything else that I need to add in? I don't think so. I mean, maybe. Oh my lord! What did I do to my money? Ooh, that's a problem. Literally last I looked, I was at like 20,000. Am I still making money though? Is probably, yeah, I know, like obviously we spent a lot of money building this. What just cost me money? Was it this? No, that's barely anything. Is it just operating costs at this point in time? Oh no! You know what? I think we're probably fine. I think it is actually just purchasing cost, because ongoing cost is $79.80, taxes $3,300, income $13,900. So I think we're actually still okay. I think it's just the fact that I've literally been building so much, and just maybe to be safe, I should just take a loan. I'm just gonna take a loan. Yeah, I'm just going to take a little loan. So I have to repay $250,000 over the next 40 years. Okay, jeez. All right, well, let's just have that for now so we don't have to worry about that. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Any other facilities that I might need here? Quarantine, we do have that. Wait, I think I did quarantine, didn't I? What did I actually build here? Quarantine, vet, workshop. Okay, so let's see. Quarantine staff room is here. Yeah, we did that, which is good. No trade center, which I mean doesn't really matter. Keeper hut, obviously we have that. So I think we're good. We are good. And then we have the power here, and then the water thing was actually underground because it had to be close enough to this. And then we do like a pathway underground. So that's good. Okay, so now I guess what I'm gonna do is assign some staff to the area, because otherwise it's all gonna be completely useless. So let's go. Keeper, are these guys already assigned? You are already assigned, so we're gonna need some new people. None of these mechanics are, so I'm actually gonna assign, ooh, high workload. I'm gonna assign one of these mechanics to the Africa environment. The security guards, I don't care about them. Vendors, they're fine. Vet, I might just assign one of the vets to the Africa area so that they are here. And then I guess I'm gonna need another keeper, which hopefully is not gonna push me over budget here, because as long as we're still, doing okay with money and budgeting, then we should be good. So you, my friend, are gonna get paid less, great, and work in this area. Hopefully you can take care of this entire habitat, because it's going to be a big job. Obviously we'll expand the amount of staff we have as we get more animals. Only going to be 3 zebra to start off with, so this is huge. It might not even be good at the moment. We might have to adjust it, because I just put trees and stuff that I thought looked good. They might hate it, so we might have to adjust all that, but we'll see. The other thing I want to do is move the animals in. So let's have a look. Send to zoo. They're now going to go into their habitat. And then whilst I still, actually, I'll unpause. Now that we've unpaused, we do actually need the donation bins, because that's going to kind of be an important part of actually making money from this. Where do I always forget where you find them. Education, No, staff facility. Where do you... Oh, here we go. I wonder... I just wonder where most people are going to stand for this, because I literally have no idea. They could be standing back up here. I mean, I'll get a few bins around the place. It kind of depends where they're going to be. Anyway, so we've got this whole new habitat for them to come check out. And I guess now we play the waiting game. So what do we got? Oh, we got some research done. Great. Hooray! New barriers. Good. And what's the other one? And... oh, cool. We learned about the disease there. Some stuff about red pandas, a great flamingo. Actually, oh, Timberwolf's having an offspring. That's great. So while they're a baby, that's still fine. But actually, it reminds me. So a lot of stuff actually kind of happened while I was just building. I don't know if the flamingos had any babies yet. I don't think so. But I'm pretty sure one of the red pandas might be an elder, or they're really close to being an elder. So we might have to keep an eye out for that at some point. Offspring. Oh, we got new offspring? That's great. Okay. That's all right. I guess we should keep an eye on all our animals. Oops, let me pause. Oh! Okay, now let's see how much you hate this area. Welfare. Oh, terrain is actually pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. And actually, the plants are pretty good too. I mean, obviously, there's some that it doesn't really care about, but it's not really having a negative impact. Coverage is good. Enrichment is terrible, obviously. Now, let's also make sure we give it food, because we haven't actually done that part yet. But it does want some more short grass. I wonder if I do it, because I'm not actually sure. Like it might be a distance-based thing, because I think that is actually legitimately a thing where if they're too far away, a lot of what we do might not even count. Because I think like if I do this over here, does this count over here? Grass long. I mean, maybe a little bit. I kind of liked a lot more sand that we have in here just because I think it is counting. That's fine. I liked a lot of the sand just because it looked more like the environment I wanted it to be. Because we can't, because obviously we're in a tropical environment, so all of our uh-oh. Oh, I guess it's, you probably just got to the zoo and have an issue, that's all right. Well, that's not all right, but you know what I mean. Okay, can I click on the terrain, please? Hang on. Wait, where did my other zebra go? Down, literally hiding underneath the viewing platform. Guys, walk down here, you'll be able to see it better, okay? All right, so they want more short grass. Okay, I don't... Stop making me take away all the environment. I worked hard on the terrain paint. How much do you want? Dude? Okay, there we go. Great. That's so good. Enrichment is bad. Okay, so, well, food. Well, it has water, so that's fine. We need to sort out the food, obviously. All right, so I'm just going to get some feeding things. Feeding trowel. We'll just get a large one, and I'm going to put it kind of... I want it ideally close to the door so I don't have to walk so far. So I might put it around here somewhere. Maybe like here. Wow, that really ruined the terrain. Anyway, that'll go there. Enrichment-wise, do we have anything at all for them? No. Okay. Actually, what's their temperature like as well? Are they okay here? I assume so, because I assume they don't... Oh, it's like 42 degrees. I'm pretty sure they're fine with that. Whoops. Because they're, you know, from Africa, so it should be okay. Yeah. Okay, can I actually click on one of the animals and see what the deal is now? Hello. Habitat is pretty good. I mean, I guess hard shelter and all that's fine. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. All right, cool. This is great. This is actually going to be really good. Then we just have to like start adding more animals to it. All right, so let me get the keeper over here as well to actually come and fix that. Now, is my zebra over in the vet clinic? Oh, it is. Yeah. Okay, please fix it though, because that's kind of important. Now, oh, yeah. I was just about to change the research on the diseases actually. Just because I feel like we should research all of them, at least a little bit. So I'm just going to work my way through them. I don't know what they are, but we're going to work our way through them. Okay, so it also looks like we're making money again. And I really think that it was just because... can I pay more of this off now? How do I just pay offline? I guess I need... Do I really need to have 250,000 to pay off this? Just click that. Can I pay back? Oh god, this is total yearly repayments. 20,000. Okay. 66,000 to repay. Okay, well, let's leave it on that and see if we go bankrupt. See what happens. Okay, welfare, 60%. Oh, yeah, see enrichment. Okay, let's quickly get our vets researching that as well. That's what I meant to do. Oh, yeah, look at all these people up here. Okay, so we've got a bunch of people standing around here, so there is a donation bin there, which is great. There's some people over here too, so we should maybe get some over there. I'm just going to duplicate this, get one over here. No one's going down there to the lower one. I guess because there's no real... Oh, it's running through the water. Sweet. Yeah, you like that? Sweet. All right, hopefully we'll get some enrichments. Oh, that can get up really high on the hill. Yep, okay. See, I thought it might be too steep to get up there. Where did it go? How did it get up there? Is it really able to run that steep? Because that's gonna get out. I can tell you that. Well, let's see. Maybe not. I mean, it definitely can get out if it wants to. Yeah, you're not supposed to be up there, and that definitely is an issue. That was supposed to act as like a cliff so you couldn't get up there. That does not look safe. What are you doing? Get down from there! I'm gonna box this animal because it is about to run out. So I'm gonna move this back over here. So where is the other one? So we got one here. Have they been fed yet? Can we get a keeper to come and feed them, please? Okay, one there. The other one's over there. Okay, so they're... All right, well, I'll work on the barrier. I think I'll just actually build a barrier that sticks up and over. It's kind of annoying. I don't really want to do that, but I think we're going to have a visible barrier because otherwise they're just going to get out, which is no good. Anyway, I think this is sick. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We will be adding more animals to this in the next part, obviously. So I think hopefully we'll find some good stuff in here. Some more African-based animals, considering the whole area is called Africa. So, you know, it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, look at this. This is great. Oh, this looks sick from here. We need a rhino. We need to get a rhino at some point. Yeah, that is going to do it for Planet Zoo. This part, not in general. For this part, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Make sure to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. I'll see you next time, and have an awesome day.